Hello ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to be bringing you a firearms video, talk about the basics. This is like Firearms 101, it's going to be going to my security training thing. I have other videos, report writing and handcuffing. There's going to be more iterations. You'll find that the handcuffing video is a little bit more lax. I will explain that in another handcuffing video where it's a lot more intense. That video was relaxed. It was, assuming the guy's cooperative. You hit him with mace, taser, baton, relaxed. We'll get to that in another handcuffing video. The next one will be on you haven't applied one of your tools yet, and you got to use your hands, and you got to take them down. It'll be the most basic takedown that I could show you that you could do yourself and practice it on other people via video. The rest you might have to actually do it in person. So that's that. First we're going to talk about shoes and whatnot here. I have tennis shoes on here. In my handcuffing video I showed I had boots on actually. It really depends on what you're going to be training in. They might have you wear boots. They might have you wear tennis shoes because, well, boots take a while to actually take off. If you're going to be in a mat room or in some sort of like matted room, can't really think of any other words for it, but you can get tennis shoes off because sometimes they're fine with you using shoes or they're not, and you have to use your socks or they'll give you mat shoes. It really depends, but I'm using tennis shoes for the sake of it. I'm going to be going over stances. One of the things here, as you can see, I got my duty belt. You obviously need that. Or if you don't have your duty belt and you're just trying to know firearms training, this can help too. So, again with the duty belt, I'll talk about a little bit of placements on the duty belt and different things and that such. So, I'll turn around here and got my handcuffs. I tried to get it as to the small of my back as possible. It wasn't really that easy with a Sam Brown belt. And you can kind of tell there's a good portion of this belt that I really can't use. When you use a regular duty belt that has like a plastic belt here, whatever, you could literally put everything to the gig line right there. You can put everything up into there. But you want to have, when you're doing your duty belt, you want to have your handcuffs to the small of your back. Some people will say, have it here, which you could do that if you wanted to. It's not too bad. Some people like to have it right behind their gun. That's not really the best reason, and I'll tell you why. It's because when you're handcuffing in different positions, you might have to handcuff with your left hand. Well, can't really get handcuffs with my left hand too easy. I can get it with my right hand, not too much, or I have to bend over and get it like that. If you have it in the small of your back, either hand can get it. I try to get as close as possible, but it wasn't that easy with this Sam Brown. So second is magazine pouch. A lot of people say, oh, they like to have it tactical, flip it on that side. Well, guess what? If you're frogging with someone, one of these straps come loose, and it's on the side, it'll fall over. They're saying, whoa, when you're in the prone position and blah, blah, you're going to be able to get it out easier when it's on its left side. First of all, that's a lie, because it's going to be hard to get out your magazines either way when you're prone. So, enough of that garbage. So now we're going to talk about interview stance, and we're going to talk about combat stance. Interview stance is you got your left foot forward or your dominant side forward, and you've got your right foot or support side kind of close together, but they are a good, 2 feet apart. So that's, it's kind of like this. You've got your hips swayed away so that you can get to one of your tools. and you have a good barrier between your tools and the person. Say I got a mason or whatever, I have my, I've got my hips in there and I got my arm, I can just. So that's that. And then combat stance is it's a little bit more forward. I don't exactly know how to explain it, but you've got you're putting weights on the tip of your left side here, as you're seeing here, or if you switch it, you'd be on the tip of your right side, right? And you're using the tips of your feet, but your left leg is bent. You're trying to do that. And your right side is not facing the same way. It's like pointed a little bit different way. It's like at a 45-degree angle, I think this might be. And when you're moving in a combat stance, you take left foot, slide with support. Left foot, slide with support. If you got to go backwards, right foot, slide with support. Go to the left side, so we're like this. To the left side, support. Right side, support. And some of the things is the, what do they call this? Just have your hands above your waist, and you want to have a fist behind your knuckles. You want to have your fist behind your knuckles like this. So when you're talking to someone, they're not really seeing what's going on because it's covered by your hands. And they're not thinking that you're ready to fight if you have to, but you're always ready to fight. So if you got to, got that. So I was training with a government agency, and I'm still doing ongoing training, and they were teaching firearms. They were doing the firearms course, and a lot of what they were saying is an eye-opener and should not be practiced under any circumstances. One, they're telling you to shoot like this, stand like this. I don't know if you can see my feet are all back up here for just to get in the range of the camera. They want your feet like this. And they want you shooting like this. No stress on your muscles, just all, they want the recoil to be in line or parallel with your bone structure. You don't really want that, and the reason why they were saying it was, well, if you have to point this gun at someone for hours, if you're using your muscles to be aiming at someone instead of your bones, then you're going to be tired. First off, that's horseshit, okay? If you ever have to aim your gun at someone for hours, there's something wrong. Take a step back, we have to do something else instead of aiming at them for hours. Second off, the combat stance that I was talking about, if you go to any defensive tactics course, whatever, they would say scrap that shit, get it out of there, never do it again. Because you never want to be in a fighting situation in such a ridiculous stance. When you're standing like this, again, I'll back up, you can't do anything. Someone can push you from behind. You could be focusing on over here. Someone could tackle you from behind, and you would fall flat on your face. Someone could push you, anything like that. You're not in a very good stance. When you're in the combat stance, you can get pushed from any angle, and you're good. So that's one of the things. Second, they were talking about magazine releases, which I'll get to in a second. So the basics that we're going to be doing is holstering and unholstering. They were teaching that, and it's a good technique. So you want to I'll do this slow, you want to bring it out, bring your holster out, and then pivot it right away. Instead of arcing it like some people do, they go like like that. They're like, get on the ground, get on the ground. They arc it. What you do when you arc it is, see where the muzzle is pointed? It's going towards the ground. Towards the ground. It's not going anywhere. If you bring it up like this, immediately, you can fire a round off. Granted, it won't be that accurate, but you'll fire a round off, and you could, if you got it out real quick, boom, 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 boom. You could if you had to. So that's the other thing. And holstering it, reholstering, it's the same. So you just go. And do that a couple times. Whatever, pause the video, doesn't matter. Next thing's next. What's next? Okay, so the combat stance is, okay, so got our guns out. First things first is you want to have your finger on the slide or something like that. You don't want your finger on the trigger unless you have to pull it. So you're not walking around like this. It's like this, or other hand like this. One of the things is gripping the firearm. They did not like the teacup thing, they called it, which is this. They liked doing this, which I don't like at all. I don't like it. I don't like that whole thing. It just makes it feel awkward when I'm shooting the gun. And that's probably why a lot of cops aren't that accurate, because they were taught this way. Hold it in the teacup, that's the best way to do it. That's the best way to be pointing your weapon. Obviously, have your finger off the trigger, unless you need to use the trigger. But that's that. So combat stance is, you want to be like this, because what happens, say you've got a concrete block here, right? And it's only 3 feet tall. Well, if you're like this, right? If you're like this, bang, 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 you have to take a minute, get behind the retaining wall, and then you could get behind cover. While if you are in a fighting stance, you can just go like that. You can move, get on the ground, anything like that, quickly when you're in the fighting stance and you're on the balls of your feet. You can move really quickly, everything like that. Next thing is magazines. They were teaching not to drop the magazines on the ground. They're saying you shouldn't be dropping the magazines on the ground. You should be putting it in your cargo pocket or something like that. And someone asked them why. Because see, I just dropped it on the ground. Okay, so that's most likely what's going to be happening in a fighting scenario. You're not going to be worried about placing it back in the magazine holster. They weren't even telling you to put it back in the magazine. Like, normally you have 3 magazines. You've got 2 here, and you've got one in the gun. They're saying, put the other one in the cargo pocket. It's just like, I don't have time to be... Hold on. Hold on, bad guy. I don't have time to be doing that. Nope. These are empty. I don't have time to be doing that. Okay? When you learn things in training, you're going to apply that in the field. If you're telling your students to not drop the magazine, they were saying it for 2 reasons. They were saying, 1, it could disrupt the magazine. Okay? It could damage the magazine, and once you get it in the gun, it won't chamber. So that's why we do this other step, in case you damage your magazine, which I'll get to in a second. And the other reason is, in training, if you drop your magazine and you go to pick it up, your partner next to you might kill you. He might shoot you in the head. That was their reasoning. drop your magazine on the damn ground. And the other thing that they're saying, when you pull out your gun, right, and you pull it out, they want you to tap, rack, and everything like that. Don't ever do that. Don't. It looks ridiculous. It's an extra step to think of, and it's stupid. Okay? Because they're contradicting themselves. If they're telling you to pull it out like this, then you can fire around, obviously you're confident that the gun has a round in the chamber if you're going to be doing this step. If not, you might as well just arc it if it's that much quicker. Get what I'm trying to say here? If you're going to be tap, rocking, and slide for the sake of shit, there's some other goomba out there called James Yeager that talks about that because we can't rely on our guns. If we can't rely on our guns, then why are we using them? Simple as that. This takes an extra step. Oh, shit, my magazine's there. Alright. Anyways. Tap, rock, and slide is ridiculous. Don't do it. It's, mind is blown here. I don't even, it's stupid. Don't ever fire like this. Don't ever think that you're going to be pointing your gun at a suspect for hours on end, because you're not. Okay? Point your gun at the suspect on the damn ground here. If you're looking at the guy like this, most convicts are decently street smart. Alright? They see a guy looking like this, they might just say, hey, I'm going to go fuck with this guy because he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm going to go take his gun and I'm going to shoot him. What are you going to do like this? What are you going to do like this? You're going to do nothing. Get on the ground, sir! Do something like that, and they're like, oh shit, this guy knows what he's doing. Leave you with that.